Welcome to Smalltalk Daily for Thursday, April 1st, 2010. This morning I wanted to go through a library that I created a number of years ago for bottom feeder and that I since split out, and that is the syndication handling code, the stuff that reads RSS and Atom feeds and brings them into Smalltalk objects. So to give you an idea how that works, let's go ahead and load it from the public store repository. So you open this up with a right click. Once that comes up, you start typing syndication. You see that I've got handling, so that's the one I want. It's a bundle. Right click on the latest version and just do a load. Now it's going to bring in a lot of prerequisites. If you don't have your settings set properly, it'll prompt you a bunch, so that'll take a while. I'm going to pause the recording. Okay, once that's brought everything in, there are some simple examples you can use from the simple API that I created. There's a class called constructor. You can send getFeed from URL to it, hand it an URL, and what it'll do is it'll figure out which particular constructor to use, one for Atom, one for RSS, and what particular version of those feed formats to deal with. So I'll go ahead and read my own, so we'll try to see what happens there. We'll do an inspect on the result here, and you can see we've got the feed from my blog. I'll go down here to the items. You can see these are the last few things I posted, mostly screencasts. So let's close that. Now, just to prove that I can read feeds that aren't mine, this is a feed burner one from a WordPress blog, so we'll go ahead and try this. We'll do an inspect on that. And you can see there it goes. It reads that in too. So we can come down here, look at this, look at the generator, nothing there. Look at the items. There are all the items from this guy's blog. So you can see that it reads this stuff just fine. If there are modules that are attached, and this one has a whole bunch of them, here are a whole bunch of those that got handled by the library. So that's relatively straightforward too. It just brings all this stuff in. Now, if you saved this stuff to a file, say you've got a file that's local to your file system instead of coming in from HTTP, instead of creating a file URL, you can just open up a stream on it and then tell it to get the feed from the stream. So I've got the New York Times RSS feed that I saved to disk a little while ago. So I'll go ahead and do this. We'll do a do it, and then we'll take a look at this feed3 object. And you can see this is, again, an RSS feed coming from the New York Times. If I look at the items, these were the top news stories as of about 20-25 minutes ago when I did this. So hedge fund managers pay and a whole bunch of things like that. So whatever happens to be top of the news came up in this. So you can see that this library works pretty nicely. And the API points there are pretty straightforward. If you come down here to the syndication handling bundle and you go to the constructors, this is where you want to look in here. The rest of this stuff is stuff that you pretty much don't need to worry about if you're just interested in using this. Class constructor is the one you want to look at. Everything's on the class side. When we created this a number of years ago, that's just how we wrote it. And the API is where you want to look for this. So get feed from stream, get feed from URL, those are the ones you want. If you want to tell the back end that you're some other kind of agent than Smalltalk, because I think we use the net resources, which is a HTTP library we use underneath this thing, as the agent string. If you want to hand it something else, like pretend to be Firefox or pretend to be Chrome, you can do that. So in any case, these are the API points, fairly straightforward, and all of this stuff is written here. It'll figure out whether to use the Atom feed constructor, whether to use one of the RSS feed constructors. It also handles OPML and OCS. So it'll handle all of those different kinds of formats, and there are API points underneath for all those things. So that's about it for today. Until next time, have fun with Smalltalk.